Boys, I read a YouTube comment for one of my videos specifically saying that Rent-A-Girlfriend, in essence, is essentially just Twilight for weeb boys as opposed to emo girls. My response to that is, oh my god, you're kind of perfectly right. You know, like the way both shows encourages and normalizes creepiness towards the opposite gender, the brain-dead viewer base of people backing it, and most importantly for the subject matter of this video, the one-dimensional characters that solely exist to glamorize toxicity. In one of my previous videos a bit ago, I made up a word called Moral Scapegoat. A moral scapegoat is essentially a really awful storytelling workaround where you present a character that is clearly a bad person, but instead of the narrative itself acknowledging the fact that said person is objectively bad, you instead twist the entire story around said character in order to make him look like he is not as bad as he is, and or you make the character perform actions that show off that he isn't totally morally deprived. I realize that Kazuya is the ultimate embodiment of moral scapegoating, not to mention nice guy syndrome as well, but I won't get into that just yet. How is he the ultimate embodiment of this? Well, I'll just be blunt about it. The reason why is because he and this entire anime validate creeps and general incel behavior. Let's watch episode 8 and find out through analysis. It was just another day in the existence of this terrible show, and thanks to the story's pacing bearing all the nuance and complexity of IKEA furniture, Kazuya's primary objective for this episode is stalking. Yes, Kazuya is straight up stalking Chizuru throughout this entire episode. During winter, our resident cucklord stumbles upon his favorite guilt trip victim and notices that she's dating another man. Obviously another client from her services, right? Of course, Kazuya immediately jumps to this conclusion that she's working right now, using the skill that he rarely makes any use of ever, common sense. But such a rare occurrence does not last long. For some reason, Kazuya panics and suddenly believes that this is not Chizuru's rental date client for the day, and instead, her true boyfriend. Paranoia continues to build up in himself to the point to where he just can't help but begin stalking the couple as they travel across town all damn day so he can get to the bottom of who he really is.
What? Is that her boyfriend? Why'd the thought never even cross my mind? Whoever said a rental girlfriend couldn't have a boyfriend? So there's every chance they've been dating in secret. After all, Mizuhara being single? That's about as likely as pigs flying to begin with.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, what even makes you think you have the right to be concerned over this? You are not Chizuru's legit boyfriend, you just roped her into your own personal problems. The fact that you're evidently this brazenly possessive of her to the point to where you feel entitled to know about her personal relationships and follow her around without her consent to confirm these personal relationships, it just goes to show off how sick this entire anime is. Like, how do you not see how disgusting that is, like mindset-wise? Second of all, the only thing that makes you believe that he could be her real boyfriend is because he's, what, physically attractive?
Hard to believe a good-looking dude like that has to book a rental girlfriend, though.
Like that's your only clue? Like, do I even need to explain how stupid that is? Thirdly, even if this other loser actually was her legit boyfriend, who gives a shit? What does it matter? And how would that change anything present in this weird narrative that this stupid-ass anime has? And fourth of all, why does this episode even need to exist? Like this episode does not progress anything. It doesn't exist for the sake of brain-dead entertainment because nothing entertaining is happening. What it exists for is for the sake of stirring up some shallow-ass drama by attemptedly adding a worthless new guy into the relationship circles. And we know for a fact right from the get-go that this guy is obviously not a potential threat to Cucklord Kazuya's little guilt trip harem. So seriously, what is even the effing point of this garbage? Like, this entire thing is like one of those pointless episodes of Inuyasha where some random-ass side character pulls up on Kagome and tries to offer their undying affection to her. Like, why do I need to see this, is my question. We know for a fact that this guy is not gonna get hitched to this bitch, so who fucking cares, bro? Look, I don't mind anime that start adding in love interests that more than likely have no chance. I mean, Urusei Yatsura is entirely revolved around that, and that's one of my favorite anime ever. But what I'm talking about is when entire episodes solely revolve around the potential of a romantic competitor who obviously isn't actually involved with anything and is more than likely just a throwaway character. Like, when I see that, I'm immediately bored and annoyed. But hey, good job, Reiji Miyajima, making your main character a stalker. Man, what excellent storytelling you have. Like, seriously, I think someone needs to just grab this guy by the scruff of the neck and just tell him that just because you're a good artist does not mean you're a good writer. Hey, yo, wait a second. I just realized, look at this image of Reiji Miyajima right here. Have you noticed that he's, wearing the exact same shirt as Kazuya in the anime? No. Maybe I'm just trying too hard to see things. I mean, that could just be him buying merch of his own stuff. I mean, I'm sure mangakas do that often. But still, after the last video where we pointed out the fact that this Reiji guy is very clearly a weirdo who is attracted to his own OCs, I feel like it's pretty hard not to put two and two together here. I mean, some people have apparently been theorizing that Reiji is actually halting the progression of this manga to a sluggish pace because he is somehow jealous of his own main character? But after seeing this, maybe he's just a self-insert writer who just wants to perpetuate things because it's his own personal fantasy that got unexpectedly popular. You know, kind of like the Boyfriend's webtoon. Again, a lot of what I'm saying is like wild theories and everything, but honestly, there's so many ideas and theories that you could interpret from the mangaka's self-publicized loserness that it's hard not to make these educated assumptions. This actually reminds me of back when Powerpuff Girls got a reboot in 2017 or sometime around that, and then one of the showrunners turned out to like really like Blossom. So, that guy, he straight up inserted himself into the show in every episode he was present in, doing really creepy shit with her. God, I really wish I didn't remember that, actually. But I digress, let's continue. So yeah, episode 8 is just the main guy being a creeper. Throughout the episode is a whole bunch of nothing burger nonsense where Kazuya follows these idiots around and through his emotional instability magically comes up with stupid ass reasons and cheap excuses to continue shadowing them around like a serial killer. This entire episode seriously has the exact same unsettling vibe as that mentally sick literal motherfucker Christian. But look, boys, I feel like it's pretty obvious that this is all awful and gross stuff, right? In fact, the show itself, as in the narrative, seems aware of the fact that this is all awful, gross shit. So, since the show knows that this is weird, Kazuya could just not do this, right? But no, he does. And the justification for him getting up and doing it as the episode progresses is exactly what I mean when I say moral scapegoat. As Kazuya continues to stalk these two idiots, he eavesdrops into the guy's phone conversation and hears this.
Oh, her? Yes, I'm with her now. She's really beautiful.
He means Mizuhara. What are they talking about?
Yes, and not only that, she's just as wonderful on the inside.
Inside? Inside where?
She's satisfaction guaranteed for whoever sees her. I'll find out her measurements and text them to you later.
Measurements? Outfit? This isn't about her job. What the hell has he been talking about? Where will people see her? A gentleman's club? So maybe he's been taking advantage of her.
Oh, see, look at that. See, the guy is actually a bad guy. And that means that, like, if he's a bad guy, I'm a good guy. Because he's a bad guy. He's trying to take advantage of Chizuru. And I'm stalking him to make sure that he's the good guy. See, I'm only trying to protect her. See, look, guys. I'm a good guy, everybody. I'm a good guy. You see that? That is a moral scapegoat. A perfect example of a moral scapegoat. The main character is a manipulative tool, but whenever the narrative itself has any opportunity to confront this toxicity on the main character, the show kind of just twists itself around to make it look as if this guy is not that bad. See that? Moral scapegoat. And look, yes, we all obviously know that this guy is actually not a danger to anyone and Kazuya is just overthinking it and being hysterical, but that doesn't change my point at all. In fact, that kind of just proves it and makes this entire thing even more stupid and pointless. They're trying to make this whole thing look like one of those cliche cartoon SpongeBob episodes where someone builds up all these wrong assumptions about something and he only figures it out that he was just being hysterical at the last second, but it doesn't work in this anime because this show is constantly trying to treat itself like it's some kind of in-depth story, dude. Like, this tonal whiplash keeps pissing me off. And the stupid, revolting shit does not stop there. Like, check this out right here. Look at what this idiot says after this dumbass dilemma is reaching its end, and surprise, surprise, the man she was hanging around with wasn't actually a threat at all. Look at this.
I did decide to leave you alone, right at the beginning. I was convinced you two were dating, and I didn't want to bother you on your date. But then, when it looked like you were being taken advantage of by that guy, then I couldn't ignore it and just walk away. I understand if you never wanted to see my face again. Even I can't believe myself. Worst Christmas ever.
See, look, Chizuru, see, I'm the good guy. I was doing it for your best interest. It's okay that I'm a weirdo stalker. See, because I was just trying to protect you. See, I'm a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. See, look at me. Feel bad for me. I'm actually just a tragic hero. Feel bad for me, Chizuru. Like I keep saying, the show never frames the situation for what it really is. And in this episode specifically, it's even worse. The way that she treats the situation is basically the same way a stern parent looks down on his children after they misbehaved in school. Again, I want to show you, look at the way Chizuru basically just doesn't care and shrugs it off, the same way you would shrug off someone making an insignificant mistake. Like Chizuru is getting used to how much of a fucking freak this guy is.
Good grief, you are such an idiot. Why do you always jump to conclusions like that? And how long were you following us anyway?
Since the train station.
The train station? This afternoon? That's stalking, pure and simple. Freaky.
It's wrong, I know.
Like, no bro, this isn't some silly little misdeed. It's a borderline crime, dude. Oh, and just in case you thought that the stalking and also the idiotic assumptions made up to justify the stalking was bad, well, as a perfect cherry on top for all this sick shit, the show ends with Chizuru giving Kazuya a gift after his emotional breakdown, essentially rewarding the guilt-tripping creep stalker that uses whatever idiotic justification he can to do stupid stuff.
Today was the only day Umi had any free time to go shopping, and I figured it'd be good to get a guy's opinion before I picked something out for you.
You got me a new phone case?
Yeah, because you've been carrying around a broken phone with no case, and honestly, it looks awful like that. I mean, really, just look at it.
Izahara.
And that's the end of the episode. Honestly, I'm kind of speechless at this point, man. I originally wanted to call this thing the Reddit anime in a previous video, but no, that's not what this is. This is the incel anime is what this is. All of the stuff that we've seen so far, it's all peak incel validation, right? Like the way Chizuru is basically being guilt-tripped into the narrative, the way every time Kazuya does something gross, he immediately switches into pity-me mode, the way this entire episode is dedicated to validating and rewarding stalking, and the list just goes on. Usually I have a big, closing paragraph thing to discuss what the heck we just witnessed, but I really don't think it's necessary this time because does anything here even need further elaboration? This shit makes me sick to my stomach, man. Let's just move on. Stay tuned, boys. There's still tons of ground to cover. I still haven't even mentioned all the worst parts of the manga. I still haven't brought up Ruka. I still haven't even gotten into Season 2, or briefly mentioned it. I don't even know if I want to, watch the entire thing through to have more stuff to talk about. And even then, the next part of this review series won't even discuss any of that. What's actually going to happen next video is that I gotta shut down a very idiotic defensive statement people keep using as a cheap excuse to defend and continue to watch this terrible anime. So yeah, get ready for that. To be continued in part 4. Let's get to the Patreon roll call. My $10 supporters are Cute Eater, Jack G, Joseph Vincent, Sar Bombaclat, Procrastinator Dave, Skyer, Syndrin7, and Stormy Knight. And of course we have our $5 supporters. They are appreciated just as much as our $10 Patreons. If you'd like to be in the credits of my videos as well, just catch me on patreon.com/blacklightjack. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.